All right, Ibou, we're here back for the third time since WrestleMania 41. But what's going on, my guy?
Nothing much, man. I'm feeling good. Today's going to be a big-time self-made stream tonight on the channel. I'm excited for that. And I thought, you know what? Let's roll on the North-South Connection show. And, it's cool. I don't know if you did this on purpose. I'm seeing the New York Giants. Oh, no, this is probably just for MetLife. But I think it's fitting. You got the Giants logo right over my Miami here, which is cool as a Giants fan personally. But I'm excited to talk about the match, about a preview. We were discussing a week ago, what match I wanted to do, and at the time it was going to be Becky Lyra, but I found that a match that I find myself having a lot of things to say about is actually this one. So I'm excited to get into it and explain why I have a lot to say about this match. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad that people are tapped in with us on the channel. A couple people from the Self-Made Discord I see in the chat here, so I'm excited and I'm looking forward to getting into this.
Yeah, good shit. All right, well, I might as well ask you off the rip. I was going to ask you Jets or Giants as we get to my little rundown here. So Jets? No Jets? Giants? I get it.
You're a lifelong Giant fan, brother. And listen, watching Eli beat Brady 2 times in your lifetime changes you as a human being,
Yeah, I know. I get it. I've won 7 Super Bowls myself, personally, right? So I get it. You lose twice to the Eagles. You lose twice to the Giants and the Eagles. You never live it down. So
no, you can't.
Nah, 42 still breaks me though. 42, still, it's just it's sad. It doesn't hurt me. It's just sad, right?
What kills me is I remember when the Eagles beat Brady. I was pissed because I liked Eli having the distinction of being the only guy to take Tom down in the Super Bowl. That used to be one of his few cases as a great historical player.
Yeah, that B plus case kind of turns into a B case for Eli, right? Because he loses that little Tom Brady stank.
That's the thing. Eli Manning's had a lot of seasons where he wasn't a very good quarterback, truthfully, or a middling quarterback. But listen, at the end of the day, having those 2 Super Bowl runs is that's legendary shit, So he had that on his resume, and I loved being able to say to people the only man to take down the greatest quarterback of all time. So,
yeah, 2007 Patriots is probably the best team in football history.
Oh my goodness,
hands down, and you guys beat it. I think it was a 14+ spread too in the Super Bowl. That was karma for us beating the Rams back in 36, 2002, whatever it was, 2001. So that's that was our karma. But I would, all right.
Dude, that team was so stacked, man.
It was ridiculous.
Yep.
You guys, here's the thing. All right, one last thing. You guys score 17 points and still win that game with the best offense in the history of the NFL is still crazy.
Our defense, baby. Our defense. We were grinding all playoff run, man.
Your edges, right? And we had to chip them. It was a lot. So
amazing. The freaking Manningham catch in the second in the 2012 one.
The sideline tap, yeah.
Holy shit.
Then Gronk at the Hail Mary at the end. He's inches. You don't realize how close Gronk was. Hail Mary at the end. All right. Anyways, we're going to talk SummerSlam.
Yes, we are.
Jey Uso and Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. My first question to you, Ibou, is my biggest flaw for WrestleMania 41 is the triple threat construction where it kind of lessened the undercard here. Now, I don't want to share that sentiment by saying Bron Breakker versus Roman Reigns is kind of more needed because I don't think Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed kind of adds depth to this card from a singles.
No, it doesn't.
But what I will say real quick, if we have Roman Reigns versus Bron Breakker, I understand they're telling stories and so on and so forth. They want to get to that eventually. But if we had this at the second, if this Bron Breakker versus Roman Reigns was at the top of the marquee, this is a much sexier SummerSlam on a 5.5 to 6 out of 10 SummerSlam sexiness, right? So
it does. You know what I'm saying? Bron and Roman jumps off the page as a big time matchup on the show, especially on a night 1 lineup that's it feels like a pre-show to night 2. If you look at the balance, there really isn't any balance. Night 2 has a no disqualification match, a street fight, a steel cage match, and a TLC match. And night 1 is literally all tags and then the Punk match. And you kind of balance it a little bit more if Roman just takes on Braun and you literally brand it as like, who's the real big dog, or like who's the man now, whatever you want to do, battle of generations, however you want to frame it, right? And clearly they're going to delay that to a different show. But to me, it's like, man, that screams SummerSlam. And this is where Roman Reigns not being around a lot kind of hurts, because realistically, we probably would have seen, if Roman was around more, we would have seen this match at Money in the Bank or something.
Yeah.
You know, and at SummerSlam, you'd be able to get this singles match. Instead, you're going to get this match now, and they're going to do whatever they do, and you probably don't get Roman versus Braun until a couple months from now, is what I would presume personally. But there's still ways to make it a good piece of business. It's not a bad matchup, but to your point, on a SummerSlam show that has 12 matches, 6 on each night, and night one feels a lot more preliminary than night 2 does in terms of marquee value in the big time matches, especially also considering that like night 1, it's like you're looking for where the great match is going to come from. Roman Braun could have been like an explosive match, similar in vein to like the stuff Lesnar was doing in the 2010s, where he'd be on pay-per-view and his match just kind of added a different dimension to the show, because he would have like a 6-minute match where it's just suplexes and destruction, and it was like a burst of it was totally different than anything else. It was unconventional in a good way. And I thought there was a potential for Roman and Braun to open up this show white hot, nothing but spears and Frankensteiners and Superman punches and barricade breaks and table, whatever you want to do, right? And my thinking the whole time going in was, okay, they're probably going to do the tag match, like I'd imagine so. But I felt that if you're going to throw a bunch of stiffs on the show, this is the match that I'd probably do one for. Like, to me, I'd make this like a stadium brawl. Like, I would have made this like a Falls Count Anywhere deal, where you get to see Bronson Reed do a tsunami off the stage. You get to see Bron Breakker destroy things. You get to see Roman Reigns look fucking awesome and triumphant, you know? Instead, they're going to go for the regular tag format, and I'll get into what I expect wrestling-wise out of this. It's still an interesting match from a booking standpoint, because I think the actual result here and how they execute it is really, really important. Like, really, really important. So I'll get into what I think they're going to do and where they should go with this. But, yeah, they're going with the tag. Quick little mini scoop here. Internally, Roman Reigns is of the belief that this was the last time he'll ever tag with Jey Uso in a match, which is kind of crazy to hear. It almost suggests, like, is this guy wrapping up in, like, I don't know, like, in his mind, does he think he only has, like, 6-7 matches left? Like, what's going on here? But in his head, he thinks this is the last time he will straight up tag, like, with Jey Uso.
Not in a 6-man, not in a War Games, not in some kerfuffle, but, like, this is the last time tag team 2-on-2, or
yes,
in general.
See, that's a great question. I don't know the answer, but I would presume he means 2v2. That's what I would presume.
Okay.
You know,
to have some context there, right? So that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. You know what, they could have, not to steal some ideas from 2019, but remember that Rowan and Harper tornado tag versus Bryan and Roman? They could run that shit here, bro, with that. That would have been the perfect step for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's similar. Two guys. Well, those guys are bigger, but they similar styles, right? And then comparing Jey Uso to Bryan Danielson is quite the pull. But I'm not doing that. That I realized that I was doing. But you know, that chaotic tag with a simple step like that would have just worked. So, but yeah, now we're gonna have that weird hot tag and beat down on Jey Uso, waiting for the big dog, and the match could be just so much more. And just get to it, right? And just
I hope that, again, because there's already a bunch of tags on the show, and the Charlotte tag is going to be a conventional, traditional tag match with Shine and a Heat section and a comeback and everything in between, right? You could expect that from that one. The celebrity one with the Jelly Roll will be similar, but also have its bells and whistles to circumvent the fact that literally Jelly Roll is in the match. How do you differentiate this match from those? And, you know, conventional wisdom would suggest that Roman is just going to do his match, which is, again, big aura entrance. He's going to do his thing. He's going to slowly get to the closing stretch. It's going to be a long Heat segment in the match. And then they do a bunch of stuff in the final 3 to 5 minutes and some combination moves. And then you get the big finish. And, like, again, in a vacuum, that's, like, all right. but like night one needs this to really explode, in my opinion. They could use this to not just be a 3-star match. The question is, how do they achieve that through the means of just a regular 2v2 match? And my suggestion would be to play to the strengths of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Bron Breakker is best when he's doing insane, athletic, crazy shit. I don't particularly get much out of Bron Breakker just doing a long control section. When Bron Breakker is just there, just kind of like beating down, like he doesn't have the. He's a young wrestler who has a lot of talent and a lot of ability, but he's not yet at that level where he's a master of like working in control for a long period of time. And his approach to doing so is stomps, punches, trash talk, push-ups, that kind of thing, right? The Steiner routine. That's fine. But usually when you're watching his matches, you're waiting to get to the fireworks, and they're awesome looking fireworks.
Yeah.
And in this type of match, if you plug him into Roman's formula, that doesn't really do great for him or Reed. With Reed, you just want to see him do the Death Valley Driver, the power bomb, the tsunami, right? Power moves, dumb jock shit, athleticism, explosions. That's what you want, especially in a stadium at SummerSlam. I get also, look, Roman Reigns, right? I think he's married to his approach because he has seen the success of it throughout the last couple of years of his career. He's done this with Solo across Zayn and Owens. He's done it against the Usos, and he's seen how wildly successful the formula is, going 25 to 30 minutes, really slow building to the hot finish. It's a formula that we've seen in different kinds of promotions and different kinds of wrestling. It's a big staple of Japanese wrestling in the fucking 90s and 2000s on big shows. And I get it, but I do think in the context of this show, we probably need something different, especially depending on where this is placed on the card.
Yeah.
If this is the opener, it could be the opener or the main event. Hopefully not the main event. It probably should be Punk and Gunther, but Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns, and he's going to get what he wants. And if he feels this is a main event, it's going to main event. I don't think so. I think it'll open. But if it does, do you want to open with a 25-minute slow burn tag, or do you want to open hot with just action and excitement and 14 minutes, everybody going balls to the wall with their best shit? I think the latter works better here.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, Roman Reigns has his formula, like you said, and I agree with that. But Paul Heyman also works directly with him, as you would assume. And Paul Heyman knows where Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker are. He knows whatever they have with Seth. I want to talk Seth. We'll talk Seth in a minute. But
okay.
But whatever they have right now, he knows that it's not vulnerable, but he knows what would work to kind of make it work, because this is where he's slotted. And at the end of the day, Paul Heyman cares about Paul Heyman mostly, right? And I'm sure he wants Breakker to succeed and Reed to succeed. So you would think that he would, put his little wise man cap on or whatever and make sure that everyone's set up for success. I have I think what you talked about with the 25 to 30 minute thing is a possibility, but I don't think that it should be the solution, like you said as well. I think they will do the right thing. I think Paul will kind of push the agenda to make sure his boys here are kind of protected, especially if I think they're going to lose, right? If they're going to lose, he would probably want to protect them too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm a little bit more optimistic as we kind of spell it out here from a quality standpoint, even though the ceiling isn't necessarily super, super high, but the floor isn't really low either, right? I think like we'd be disappointed if it's like 3 and 3 1/4, right? I think that's what the floor is.
I think that worst case scenario, this match is not terribly interesting, but the crowd is into it, and then they get into the closing stretch. Like even the worst version of this match has a hot finishing stretch where the fans are super into it. And what I would like is a compact match that creatively, booking-wise, in terms of the result, really sets up the next couple months of TV. That's actually my priority. Is coming out of this, I want Bron Breakker to feel like he's even further along in terms of his ascent up the ladder. That's my personal goal coming out of this match.
Okay, cool. I agree. I think that would be the perfect goal. All right, so looking back, do you think we were seeing a 6-man? Say what you want about Rollins, but we were going to get LA Knight with the Yeet Man and Roman, or is that going to be like a singles night in Rollins, or are we going to see like a 6-man with that combined in here? What do you think?
That's a great question, and I'm honestly not even sure. Because Penta was involved when Seth was around, and LA Knight was involved when Seth was around, and now that Seth's not around, those guys have kind of had to like basically take a mini hiatus from the TV.
Yeah.
So kind of suggesting maybe they were going to do something with that. It's hard to read. Depending on who you talk to, you get different answers, and that's what kind of makes this a bit of a hairy situation. I get the feeling that Roman was going to work Seth at some point in the production of this show.
Probably in the early stages, maybe, right?
Yeah, and I almost think like they're gonna do that and maybe have Bron and Bronson face 2 upper mid card Raw guys, whether it be Penta and Sammy, whoever it was gonna be. I feel like the Bronsons were gonna work 2 Raw guys that were over baby faces, and Seth was gonna get a singles match against somebody, presumably Roman Reigns. I thought Punk was gonna get the Seth match, truthfully, because they've been in each other's orbit forever, and I got tipped off. Not long before the Seth injury, that Punk was going to work Gunther. And I said, okay, so then no wonder what Seth does. I guess Seth gets Roman Reigns. Now we're in this situation where Roman's tagging with Jey Uso. And again, it's like, where does the truth start and stop in terms of like what was the plan and what's going on and what's the reality of Seth's injury? And I'm not quite sure. But what I will say is that I get the feeling that any combination of Knight and or Penta and or Sammy was going to be involved with these guys.
You would think, right? Even Seth's last match was Penta, right? So you don't know where that was going. Seth in the match before that was LA Knight. So you don't know. And then the rumors back to, LA Knight and Seth are going to have like a mini feud. Who knows how many that would have been.
Right.
And now both being in limbo. Yeah. It sucks for Knight though. You know, he was having a big spot and then now he's kind of off the card unless they pull something, but I don't see what they would pull that would make sense for him. All right. So, all right, we're talking Seth. Let's just talk it, right?
Okay.
I'll go 20% work. Yeah. You know, just, I don't think it was like a catastrophic injury that happened on the fly. I think maybe he perhaps tweaked something, but I'll go 20% work and we might see some fireworks at SummerSlam or maybe even the pay-per-view afterward in Paris, whatever it's called. What's your thoughts on Seth and all of that orbit? You know, what do you think of that?
I think that there is probably something wrong with Seth physically. I don't know if it was actually, I'll put it to you this way. I think Seth went into the match with LA Knight with something wrong with him.
Yep.
And they did what they did to write him off. And then they turned it into a work in the sense that this is now being used for storytelling purposes. Yep. And I think that they're intentionally vague about what his actual injury is and how long he'll be out because they want to play with the doubt that's currently in the minds of the wrestling fans.
And they're playing into that as well. Well, what kind of fuels my work-ish part of it is when he faced Penta on Raw, he went to the floor right away, and then Penta started working his leg, kicking it, and Michael Cole was harping down. That's a surgically compared leg, and Penta's looking to kind of weaken him or whatever Michael Cole verbiage he uses, right? So they do that 30 seconds into the match, and I'm like, all right, in retrospect, because I watched it afterwards, and I was like, all right, that was kind of odd, right? And that kind of just senses your sputter, senses to kind of go up there and be like, maybe they're playing us, or they're probably playing us to an extent. And then he goes out there and has a pretty great match with Penta for a Raw main event, right? And I was just like, if Seth is hurt and they're playing into it, how he's out there flying around, he's doing his thing, and I didn't really see an alteration. Not that I'm looking close or that I would totally see it, but I never saw a spot that Seth would kind of hurt himself. Or maybe on the finish where he kind of goes off, but is he playing into that too as well for the ardent fans to kind of sink their teeth into as well? So I don't know. It's cute and whatnot, but if it is the plan, I hate the LA Knight finish where it was just they're down on the ground. I don't hate that part of it. I just hate that if the plan was to have LA Knight walk him up and do a BFT, it's like putting up a fake X. You know what I mean? That's the part that I was like, they can't be that dumb where that's the finish that they gave us. Like
that's annoying, but you know what it also feels like though?
I could totally
see Paul Heyman going, if you want to make them believe,
yes,
you have to do the finish this way. Because if you did the wrestling thing of oh, he just targeted the knee and then Seth gets carted out or something, then it's like, oh, it's wrestling bullshit. But if you do the whole thing where I get the, like, look, I don't want to get so conspiratorial, but like,
I think it's interesting to talk about real quick.
Yeah, because here's the thing. He lands bad, and Michael Cole immediately has the right narrative to push. Oh, that's the knee that bothered him. Oh, the knee. But Heyman, like, I could see Heyman just being like, if you want to make them believe, then you have to do it the way it would be done if it was real.
Yeah.
And I just roll the X up and go to the finish.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, I just, like, wrestling purist, finish purist, like, that's just, it's too layered, it's too meta, it just takes you, it's too fake to be in a world of fakeness. It's just too fake, you know.
Mm.
That's what I didn't like. That's what I didn't like about it.
I hear you.
So if we're putting the cards together and playing and going down this rabbit hole just to have a fun discussion about it, that's the part. But they're doing a good job of making it all muddy. I don't think he's out for 6 months like he was when he hurt Jinja or whatever he was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, he wrestled 2 matches, WrestleMania.
Yep.
You know, that's all he did for 5 to 6 months or whatever. So I don't think he's at that point, but I think having Money in the Bank and him injured is a way to top WrestleMania 31, the heist of the century, because that's a top 3 WrestleMania. That's a top 3 cash in on anyone's list. You got Ziggler, that, and the original Edge. Those are probably the top 3 cash ins.
And I'll tell you what, knowing the way these fuckers' brains work, I could see them being like, they're gonna think you're gonna cash in on CM Punk.
Yep.
But
right, continue.
We're gonna swerve them, and you're gonna cash in on Cody Rhodes. And it'll be a thing where Cody and Cena embrace and they hug, and Cody's holding the belt up and he's saluting the fans, and Cody has finally won the WWE Championship back, and Cody Rhodes is the winner, and John Cena's a good guy again, and we're going out happy, and the signature thing is on the corner left of the screen. WWE Entertainment, burn it down. What?
Yep.
Oh, he walks out with the crutches. Michael Cole's like, but he's injured. And Wade Barrett's like, oh, I don't think he's actually injured, Cole. He outsmarted everybody.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Yep.
He jets down the fucking thing. Heyman looks devious. Cody's confused. He turns around. Oh, it's a spear. Bron Breakker with a spear. Tsunami.
Kill Cena too.
Seth Rollins walks in, cashes in. 1, 2, 3. You're WWE champion, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, see, now that's very cute too, and a possibility for sure. But they just did that with Naomi. You think they would do that in the same year?
Yes.
Good, right? But that's like another layer of the red herring.
The thing is, the Naomi thing was during the match. This thing would be like the false ending where you think SummerSlam is over and it's not over.
Well, I like it, but when I referred to Naomi, I was like, Naomi's going to cash in on Jade on the SmackDown side. I'm saying the other side, like the other brands world champion.
Oh, you're talking about like where they make you like they cash in on the champion you didn't expect them to cash in on.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I meant with the Jade part. Excuse me, Naomi part of it.
Right.
What do you think? Pie in the sky. What's a better scenario for Seth? Because he has a deep-rooted history with Cody Rhodes. He has a deep-rooted history with CM Punk. I think that CM Punk could be like a music thing to kind of even play another red herring into your night 2 scenario where that's a way to Gunther to catch him, play Seth's music. He never comes. It's a shitty finish in my opinion, but I can see it where he's never letting CM Punk win the world title. And he's playing into the Cena match that he had in Saudi with him coming out. And it's a way to distract Punk because Punk don't lose clean. He still don't. He ain't going to lose.
I was going to say, CM Punk
does not lose.
You notice when Punk loses, it's always in very fascinating ways.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, he loses in very fascinating fashion. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind if Punk beat Gunther. I suspect he won't. And so the question is, how does Punk lose? Does he just get choked out? Because here's the thing. Punk doesn't lose clean, but he hasn't had many big wins lately either.
No, what's his last big win? Netflix against Seth, right?
Right. he kicked out of like a million curb stomps in the cage match, but that match didn't get a finish.
It was an escape. Yeah.
WrestleMania, he doesn't get the win.
He doesn't get pinned though.
Right. Again, Punk doesn't lose, but he hasn't won a lot lately.
Nope. And they used the fifth one in on the gauntlet, right? So there's like a case to underlining things. So
yeah, someone in the chat makes a great point. They're saying that that this Seth situation is going to be used as material for WWE Unreal Season 2 on Netflix.
It really is.
You get Triple H narrating like, in our business, the line between reality and fiction, it's blurred. And you cut to Heyman on camera going like,
well, yes.
We're always looking to blur the lines and keep you guessing.
Yeah, I love that this Unreal show is now the crux of all our main event stories, and we're going to build off of that.
Yes,
right?
yes.
There goes organicness.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Like, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure you're going to watch it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to watch it, and it could be decent.
But it doesn't mean it's right, you know.
But it doesn't mean it's right.
See, we're wrestling fans. It's one of those things where, like, even if it's not good for us, we will consume it in the sense that, like, okay, you're going to show us behind the curtain, we will watch it. That doesn't mean we should be seeing it. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just afraid that it's going to be too like Rock after WrestleMania 40 documentary style, where it's like, oh yeah, dude, nothing but a meme the whole time, right?
Bro. Here's the thing about it. That show is going to be the new work. Yeah, that show is the new kayfabe,
and we could be seeing it right now. We could be seeing it right now with a lot of stories,
dude. That show is just going to be what they approve of you seeing. So in a weird way. They're not telling you the truth. They're telling you a version of the truth that they want you to know. And so what I'm saying by showing that is that's the actual new kayfabe. You know, Cody to this day, he's vague about it, but he basically says without saying that, like, no one really knows what happened in the Mania build last year in terms of how shit got shifted around and stuff.
Yeah.
So
we really don't. We really, really don't. Probably for a few weeks, Cody was legit probably out a week or two, right? So
yeah, and beyond that, why did that documentary get delayed like 3 months?
Yeah, because The Rock had to approve everything, right?
Yes. Like it's the new kayfabe, baby. And
it was a masterpiece of Triple H kind of playing The Rock with the fans and LaGreca and the Conrads and all that.
Oh
bullshit.
Yeah.
So. Even when Triple H took over 3 years ago, this weekend, I think it was, right? Or wherever, he said like he's going to look at storytelling in a new, fastened, modern twist. We could still be seeing that now. Now it's another layer of it with this whole Unreal stuff. So
I guarantee you the episode where they talk about the Cena heel turn, it's just going to be a bunch of carnies bullshitting you.
Yeah, putting pieces back together where shit fell apart. Yeah.
Michael Hayes is going to be like, you never know in our business, brother, you know, and, you know, Bruce Pritchard being like, I'm the one that told John he needed to turn, you know, and Heyman's going to be like, I thought of the Cena turn a month before it happened. Triple H being like, it was a tough decision, but I had to make that call to John. John Cena being asked, and he's going like, it was my idea, you know, and like everyone's gonna fucking like it'll be that. This is just a bunch of wrestlers and carnies, you know, just doing what they do.
But there are people, man. There are people. Like the whole thing is our jam in a way, right? So.
Oh, I mean, that's what makes wrestling charming is that wrestlers are full of shit, and it's kind of fun, picking through it and identifying it, but also just like eating it up because you're really entertaining at it. But
yeah, no doubt. All right. What we got here is this main event. Oh, I don't want to say it out of the bag. What I will say is, just to kind of circle back on this match here, I think it was a Peacock graphic where they had SummerSlam advertisement, and then they had Cody Rhodes versus John Cena in one block, and then they had this match in the other block. If CM Punk is a bad finish, let's just put it that way, right? If there's no finish that they feel satisfies the fans, is there more likely a way that this is the actual main event? This match right
if Punk and Gunther's finish is horseshit, it's not closing the show.
Yeah. And do you think they know that?
Yeah.
Right. So, because what I took out of CM Punk and Gunther, not to go down that rabbit hole, I took last Monday night's promo as in
shockingly subdued.
We haven't decided what we want to do yet, in a way, right? Or let me rephrase that. We haven't decided how we want to do this yet. So we don't know how CM Punk's tone should fully be heading into SummerSlam, or they want to bottle it and shoot it right up the ass to SummerSlam. I think the main event will be kind of determined on CM Punk's verbiage, his aggression, and his tone heading into SummerSlam on if it will be 5th, 4th, or 1st, or even last, right? Because it ain't going to be 2nd or 3rd. It'll be smack in the middle or the semi-main if it's not the main.
Tomorrow's Raw is going to tell us what's closing SummerSlam.
Yes.
Even if they don't say it overtly.
CM Punk's tone is pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Punk's going to speak tomorrow, and we'll just know. No doubt.
So, and I think here's the thing: if there's no guarantee, there's no nothing, then your boy's going to be a little worried, right?
Probably. I'll tell you what. He last Monday he said I can't promise a victory, and any old wrestling fan is going to have their antennas up because it's a territory rule, brother. If you promise a victory, or you swear to God, or you swear on your children, you have to win the match. Otherwise, you're dead as a babyface.
Or you're going to turn alliances, right? Or you're going to turn sides of the fence, right? But I don't think
And Punk saying I can't guarantee a victory, but I'll do my best. That's wrestling speak for I'm going to lose this match.
Yeah. And I don't like how I'm going to lose it.
Right. Exactly. So that's him protecting himself.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing: if this match is last, they need that Texas tornado style tag match, table match, or craziness. They need the crazy street brawl. Call it whatever. There's a million terms to call these gimmick matches.
Yeah,
whatever they need to be.
No DQ and Street Fight are the exact same thing.
Yeah, they're all the same.
And hilariously, both were on the same night on night 2.
Yeah.
I think what they may have to do on this one, they may have to do what Io and Rhea did and bump the ref in and just fight in the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, probably right. But I don't know. We'll see. We also have one more Monday Night Raw to get a stipulation, because this is Roman Reigns has been back for 2 Monday Night Raw, and he was taken out, but there's no real reason to add a stipulation yet. Perhaps they give it to us on Monday Night Raw, right?
I thought they needed one personally. Now it'll feel kind of like overkill though. Like if we have 6
with the card, with the card.
Yeah,
not this match here though, right?
No. Well, that's why Lyra and Becky didn't need no DQ in my opinion. They're excellent wrestlers that would have just had a killer match.
Just roll the ball out with them two.
Roll the ball out and let them wrestle. They that's what they've been doing. Just have a conclusive finish and do the same thing here. They didn't need no DQ.
Yeah. Backlash already built off of Money in the Bank, or Money in the Bank already built off Backlash. They can easily build that into a crescendo here.
Correct. Right? And exactly. And Cody Cena definitely probably needed a stip at this point.
It's just not going to be as good because 48-year-old John ain't taking those bumps, or he's taking safe table bumps. Right.
I'm really I hope that match is great, but I have a lot of reservations, justifiably so. But yeah, my point is, we have 4 gimmick matches: TLC, Steel Cage, No DQ, and Street Fight. If they did that, and then also Roman Reigns was like, Falls Count Anywhere, it's like, Jesus Christ, is this SummerSlam or Extreme Rules? You know what I mean? So, no, I don't complain. Like, I'm an ECW fan. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not gonna complain about it. But for the sake of card balance and card arrangement, it is a bit overkill, I think. Which is why I think the easiest solution here was just to not throw no DQ on Becky's match. But I presume Becky probably has some quirky ideas for her match that she wants to do.
And which I don't love, because just go straight ahead with them. That's all they need, right? But
yeah, I agree.
So, all right, Ibou, we're at the end here. Self-Made is rocking and rolling on YouTube now.
Yep.
What's going on in a few hours? Well, it could be a few hours over there. We don't know when you guys are actually going to start, right? So, but what's going on at 7:00 tonight over there?
I'm aiming to start at 7 p.m. Here's the deal, folks. At the Self-Made YouTube channel, we're going to do debates. It's going to be episode 1 of Self-Made Debates, SM Debates. Me, Chris O'Bred, and Rob are going to be having separate debates. I will be debating Chris on which cinematic future is a brighter future, the MCU or the current DCU started up by James Gunn. Rob and Chris are going to debate what was a better product at the peak, NXT Back in Gold or AEW, which will be fascinating. And then I'll be debating Rob on a pretty funny topic. Who is more impactful to this era of WWE, Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes? So, folks, that'll be on the Self-Made YouTube channel at 7. And also on the Self-Made channel on that same show, you'll be getting a debut of the Self-Made theme song.
Okay.
Yep.
So you don't have to let the cat out of the bag, but between us girls, right? You're not in this debate. So AEW or Black and Gold, which are you favoring? What do you have an opinion, or you got to kind of tune in to see your side of it? You're not going to sway. You don't want to sway one of your boys either way, right?
You know what? For retention purposes, I'll reserve that opinion for when we go live.
Okay. All right. But you have one just as a teaser. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I do.
Because I was curious if you had one, because you weren't playing into it, even though I get the gimmick. One person, right? So, absolutely. All right. And if you guys are here for Ibou, obviously, but if you want Tuesday night, you got nothing going on. Justin and I are going to count down the top 25 SummerSlam moments here live on YouTube.
Oh, that's badass.
So yeah, check that out. Tuesday night starting at 9 p.m. We've done it for Rumble, Survivor Series, and WrestleMania. So this is the last big four to do it. So it does well for us. So check it out, guys.
Awesome, man.
All right, Ibou. We can find you. And also, guys, by the way, if you are not familiar with Ibou and Self-Made, I tag Self-Made YouTube in the descriptions.
Hell yeah.
So check it out. If you happen to be the 6% that were not here by Ibou, check it out. Check it out, guys. So, all right, Ibou, it was great. You know, you're going to be rocking and rolling on Self-Made, but we'll have to maybe get you for another pay-per-view down the line, 100%.
Brother, anytime you want me on the channel, I'm here, brother.
No doubt. So, all right, guys, for now, see you soon. Thank you, Ibou.
Bye.